Yeah. Mic check 1, 2. This is Thomas on the air. Pulling back the curtains, truth is laid bare. No fake smiles, no filters, no disguise. Just a raw reflection in your mind's eyes. Keep it real, stay strong, rise above the hype. Life's got layers, not just what's in sight. Brothers, stand tall, let's rewrite the code. Truth in your headphones, ready to unload. They say the world's gone crazy, twisted and strange, but wisdom lasts through every kind of change. Step up, wake up, take control of the fight. We're breaking chains with every word we write. Thomas bringing truth like pages from the past. A voice that echoes, never fading fast. It's a podcast, but it feels like more. Opening doors you've never seen before. Keep it real, stay strong, rise above the hype. Life's got layers, not just what's in sight. Brothers, stand tall, let's rewrite the code. Truth in your headphones, ready to unload. Thomas bringing truth like pages from the past. A voice that echoes, never fading fast. It's a podcast, but it feels like more. Opening doors you've never seen before. Keep it real, stay strong, rise above the hype. Life's got layers, not just what's in sight. Brothers, stand tall, let's rewrite the code. Truth in your headphones, ready to unload. Fades with a confident cadence, supported by laid-back beat through smooth bass line. The vibe is gritty, yet motivation. Keep it real, stay strong, rise above the hype. Yeah, yeah. Life's got layers, not just what's in sight. Yeah. Brothers, stand tall, let's rewrite the code. Truth in your headphones, ready to unload. Truth in your headphones, ready to unload. Truth in your headphones, ready to unload. Fades with a confident cadence, supported by laid-back beats and a smooth bass line. The vibe is gritty, yet motivation. Yeah. Yeah. Yo. Keep it real, stay strong, rise above the hype. Yeah. Mic check 1, 2. This is Thomas on the air. Pulling back the curtains, truth is laid bare. No fake smiles, no filters, no disguise. Just a raw reflection in your mind's eyes. Keep it real, stay strong, rise above the hype. Life's got layers, not just what's in sight. Brothers, stand tall, let's rewrite the code. Truth in your headphones, ready to unload. They say the world's gone crazy, twisted and strange, but wisdom lasts through every kind of change. Step up, wake up, take control of the fight. We're breaking chains with every word we write. Thomas bringing truth like pages from the past. A voice that echoes, never fading fast. It's a podcast, but it feels like more. Opening doors you've never seen before. Keep it real, stay strong, rise above the hype. Life's got layers, not just what's in sight. Brothers, stand tall, let's rewrite the code. Truth in your headphones, ready to unload. Thomas bringing truth like pages from the past. A voice that echoes, never fading fast. It's a podcast, but it feels like more. Opening doors you've never seen before. Keep it real, stay strong, rise above the hype. Life's got layers, not just what's in sight. Brothers, stand tall, let's rewrite the code. Truth in your headphones, ready to unload. Fades with a confident cadence, supported by laid-back beat through smooth bass line. The vibe is gritty, yet motivation.
What is going on, everybody? I am back. It's been a while, but we got a great show tonight. I'm only going to be on for about an hour and a half maybe. But tonight, I want to shout out all black men, because according to the current statistics on the Bureau of Labor Statistics, black men's unemployment rate has dropped. Black women's unemployment rate is at 6.1%. So all of these pro-black women accounts that are going around hating all black men, guess what? You can hate your own unemployment rate. And I ran across this guy, this panderer on social media. Everybody's talking about him. And he reminds me of the Hamburglar off of McDonald's. If y'all have ever been to McDonald's in your life, you know the Hamburglar. When you go up, you got Ronald McDonald, you got the purple guy, and you got the hamburger. I kid you not. The first time I saw this guy, I was like, he's the Hamburglar from McDonald's. Point blank. So just want to shout out all the black men. If you're a black man watching the show right now, put a 1 in the chat. Celebration to black men. We're doing, and see, that's what we're trying to tell people. See, people have all of this smoke for black men. They say we're unemployed. They say we're not in the home. They say we aren't active fathers. They say we're bums and losers. But in reality, the tides have changed. Now, men have stepped up to the plate, and now the women have gone bad, because even the elders of the community, they say the same thing. So, again, shout out to black men. We continue, and I'm going to go into detail with the statistics as we get into the show. But I want to address the elephant in the room. Shout out to all the pro-black women that constantly talk crap about black men, because tonight's show is specifically for you. Because we're going to go through each and every lie that you like to tell about black men, and then we're going to rebuttal that back on you. Because this is the problem with people on social media, and even off social media. People don't look at the facts. They bring up old stuff. They bring up old stuff into a new environment, and you can't do that. So let's go Let's get it. I'm going to zoom. I'm going to see if I can make this bigger so that y'all can see it. All right. So, pro-black women, shout out to y'all again. Pro-black women only pages and pro-black women on Twitter. The current theme of pro-black women is to shame black men with outdated negative stereotypes that are false. Here's a few. And I'm going to have to make this bigger so everybody can see it. There we go. Now everybody can see it. So here's some of the outdated stereotypes that they usually talk about. Number one, men who don't provide have no business being in relationships. Be single and broke in peace. Take your finances seriously. Make as much as you can. The world brutally is unforgiving to broke men. I gotta make this bigger. So you admit most of the men that generation were useless POSs who failed to play either the role of breadwinner, which is a lie. That's a lie, because we're going to go into it very soon. Because this is the thing. A lot of these pro-black women accounts, they're dealing with outdated statistics and data. So when they come to you and they start talking about black men aren't the breadwinners, black men can't provide, black men are bums, black men aren't in the house, those are lies. And so many people online, they talk about black men as if things haven't changed. So, and your lazy tail, there we go, and your lazy tail wants to be a failure of a patriarch too, which is why you're crying about women expecting better. See, this is the thing. A lot of these women are just bitter because they didn't get a man. And I'm going to be the first to say it. A lot of these women that are pro-black women, a lot of the divestors, a lot of the misandrists, a lot of the people that don't like black men, a lot of them had one or two experiences with black men. One or two bad experiences. And they believe that that signifies all men. They believe it. And it's sad. It's very sad that people believe that. Because these pro-black women are enemies to the black community, to black men, and even to other black women. Because let's be realistic. There are plenty of decent black women that have not drank the Kool-Aid, both on and off social media. The problem is that you can always identify who a decent one is by what other women call them. You want to find out a decent woman if she is being called a pick-me, a mammy, or a guard dog, chances are she's a good woman. Chances are she's a good woman. So let's continue. And see, these are the typical things that these pro-black women accounts say. They say things like, stop birthing them. Stop giving birth to black men. Why? Why do you want to stop giving birth to black men instead of taking care of the choices that you have to make? See, y'all want to stop birthing black men? Guess what? You came from a black man. Pro-black women that hate black men, you came from a black man. So if you want to watch the world burn, you're going to go with it. You can't say, I hate black men, and knowing that you came from a black man. See, that's the hypocrisy. That is the hypocrisy with these pro-black women only accounts on and off social media. Because they want to hate black men, but they forget that they come from black men. So you really can't stop birthing black men. Here's another one. Y'all don't go to college. Well, that's a lie. That is a lie. That black men don't go to college. We go to college. Are illiterate. That's another trope. Pro-black women love to say black men are illiterate. That our reading level is far below the average of whites, Asians, and Hispanics, but we forget who. Let me make myself bigger. Let me make, who is teaching the children? Answer me that. Somebody leave a comment, speak in the chat. Who is teaching the children? Because it's not just black men that are responsible for child rearing, it's black women. So if the black child literacy rate is low, that's black women that need to be held accountable, because black men are already in the house taking care of the children, spending time with them. But you forget we also have to go to work and provide for the house. So what are you doing with the children while we're at work providing for the house? What are you doing with the children after they get home from school, black woman? See, that's the thing. You can't just single out, okay, black boys are illiterate. Why? Nobody ever explains why. They always want to take the narrative and spin it on black men. We don't take school or life serious. That's another lie. We don't actively want to work. Well, we're going to talk about that very shortly. Don't have active fathers. Another lie. Shame active father figures. No, we don't. Don't want to provide mentorship and don't show up to anything that is created for black males. Please tell me what is created for black men by black women. What is created for black men by black women? You have a Democratic senator in Texas that acts like a hood rat. You have other Democratic senators in Congress that are black women. You have a black woman Supreme Court justice. We used to have, back in the day under the Bush administration, we had Condoleezza Rice, who was a black woman. We've had black women in positions of power. And a lot of black women are upset due to Kamala Harris not winning the election. But even she said, no, I'm not doing anything for black men. So if you're not going to do anything to benefit black people, then why don't you sit down, be quiet, and stop talking about us every single day on the internet? That's why black women's unemployment rate is now the highest in America. Because y'all don't know how to keep black men's name out of your mouth. You don't. So, moving on. See, the pro-black woman movement is dangerous. And it's very dangerous because they label all men as bad. All men. It doesn't matter what type of man you are, you're going to be labeled bad as a man. And they never distinguish between bad men and good men because they lump them all together as the same thing. So when you deal with these pro-black women on social media and you talk to them and you say, well, all men until it's no man, all men. And it's not just the pro-black women either. It's feminists, red femmes, femcels, far right, all of them. They all say the same thing. They all want to try and put men into the same category, acting as if we're all the same, and we're not. And I found this that's going to talk about the pro-black woman movement. Because in order to understand the enemy, you have to understand why they exist in the first place. So these pro-black women, they've created an elaborate socio-political explanation for their failures with women. These are the incels. These women, the pro-black women, have created an elaborate socio-political ideology centering on the idea that black men are worthless and hypergamy. Hypergamy. Y'all remember that clip with the black woman that was like, I practice hypergamy. I practice hypergamy. It's hypergamy. Through interracial relationships is the best form of social mobility, which is not true. This is combined with their ideology that black men have abandoned and rejected them, which gives them the justification for their anti-black misandry. They are really just sharing good old fascist talking points. And a lot of these women, I'm going to play a video because a lot of these women are black femtowards, black femcels, they are black feminazis, they're just downright evil women. I'm just gonna say it. These women are just evil. Now, I will say that there are some women within those pro-black women that are not evil. but they are very few far in between. I've actually met maybe 3, and I've been interacting with pro-black women for a while. So 3 out of the hundreds of pro-black women that are good. So let's look at some of the ideology behind the pro-black women.
Is not a flex. It's a trauma response.
So I'm going to play this video and then we're going to talk about it.
So you don't need a man, right? Hyper independence is not a flex. It's a trauma response. God created Eve for Adam. Partnership is divine, not weak. If you want to be the prize, stop acting like you don't need nobody. Because the devil doesn't mind you being all Miss Independent as long as it gets you away from community. It's a lot of things that we can do by ourselves. That means you're an adult. But going your whole life by yourself, acting like you don't need partnership, you don't need marriage, all of that is for back in the day. You can be a strong woman without acting like you don't need anybody.
I want to stop right there. And I like what she said. A lot of these women are anti-marriage, anti-man, but they don't realize that you can still be a strong woman and have a relationship. You don't need to be a strong, independent woman and end up 40 plus dying alone with kids. You don't need to be that. Just choose your man wisely. And that's what we always talk about. That's what we always talk about. You don't want to choose a man wisely. Even before I started this live stream, I was on Twitter talking to a woman about who destroyed the black home. And I said, women did. And she wanted to know, okay, well, what about the men? What did the man do? I'm not talking about men right now. I'm talking about women. And we're going to get into the deflection in a moment. But let's get back to the video.
I don't know why we got it in our heads that strong equals disconnected. Strong means I can do bad all by myself for the rest of my life. God didn't create you and put you on an island by yourself. He put you around other people. And not only to have friendships and family and all these other things, but also a spouse. Let God teach you how to need people in the right way. Believe it or not, a man can actually be a benefit to your life, especially a godly man.
That's very true. A man. And see, this is what it is. Men were created to be a benefit, and women were created to benefit. So when you look at common relationship dynamics in the black community, yeah, table. I saw it. Yeah, I saw the message. But women are created to be meant to be benefits to men. Men were created to lead, women were created to be. And see, what happens is that we lose focus and we lose sight of what really matters. And then we don't understand what's really going on. We don't understand what's happening. Because when we look, hold on. But anyway, as I was saying, it says we have to re-understand relationship dynamics. We have to understand what is a man's role, what is a woman's role. But these pro-black women accounts are a detriment to the black community as a whole. They've always been, and they always will be. So, and here are some of the terms and y'all have seen that. Y'all have seen, if you've been on Twitter for any amount of time, you've heard an account or two say one of these words. They turn and say that black men are nakers, bullet bags, felony fairy, conquered male, apes, nignogs, nig-sales, gorillas, didn't do muffins. What? Shout out to William. He said, do modern women even know what a relationship is? Absolutely not. They do not know what a relationship is. And that's the problem. Because you see, when you deal with relationships with modern women look at relationships as transactional. I get, you give to me, and I don't give to you. I just take. So that is the relationship of modern women, but that's not the relationship that's going to give them the success that they need and want in a man. They're not going to get married. They're not going to have children. They're not going to have a family. They're not going to grow old with one partner. All they're going to do is just buy a dog, die alone. This is for every woman. If you're a modern woman, whether you're black, white, Latina, Hispanic, Arab, Asian, whatever, you will die alone. Because you look at relationships as transactional. And these women, right, they don't have years of experience at tricking men into giving all their power and energy. I remember back in the day, and I'm glad you brought that up. I remember back in the day, and I'm probably showing my age, but I remember back in the day when women would at least pretend to like you. They would pretend to like you. They would be like, they would be like, yeah, let's go out to a date. I'll go out on a date with you. Yeah, I'll buy me a first class ticket on a plane and I'll sleep with you when we get there. And then they would make up excuses for why they couldn't do certain things. But women back in the day, they had experience getting what they wanted from men. I even had personal friends of mine that would lead men on and take advantage of them. But see, the other thing is they knew that these men liked them. They aren't doing it for random men. They're doing it for men that liked them. And what they would do is they would get a man that they knew liked them. And they would play into that. They would take advantage of their kindness. They would take advantage of their niceness. They would take advantage of everything. Women today don't do that. Women today will go up to a random man they don't even know on social media and beg for money. The women of the past, they wouldn't do that. And that's why there was a mutual respect back in the day between women that did that and men that had game. Because back in the day, men would also have game, women would have game, and everybody got along. The men that had game would talk to the women that had game. Everybody had game. Everybody got along. And then the men and the women would make fun of the simps and the tricks. And even to go even further back in the day, men would point out tricks for women. They would. I've literally seen it happen, but with my own two eyes. I remember my guy friends way back in the day. This was years ago. This was years ago. I remember even some of the guys that I hung out with would know that a woman was on game. And then they would point out a trick. I'm so glad I'm divorced and I no longer have to sponsor her. No job. Right. Exactly. You don't have to. Because women today are different. Women today are different. But let's see. Let's go here. Yeah, so the terms, and see, they use terms like Blackistan to refer to black Aryans, struggle love to describe dating a black man, burn the cape to advocate against defending black men. One of their favorite phrases to use, here we go, holding black men accountable. One of their favorite phrases to use. See, if you're on social media or you're on YouTube, you're on Instagram, and you constantly hear people say, we need to hold black men accountable, they are part of the pro-black women. They are. They reference any violence that black women experience at the hands of black men, often going as far to advocate for more black men to have a demise at the hands of the popo. They use hashtags like not your mule, divest, burn the cape, divest, or die. And then we see the women watching the world burn. Holding black men accountable, they always blame the black man. Exactly. And see, this is why my platform and other platforms like mine exist, is because black men are being held accountable. They are being held to task. They are being held to their current standard. And we're going to get into all the stats around that in just a second. So now, and see, divestors retain the set of far-right ideologies, believing that black women are burdened by the black community, specifically black men, and should divest as a form of black empowerment. Black men don't carry all that baggage the women do. That's right, because you got to think about it. If you're a black woman in today's society, you're already going to be a single mom. You're going to be an unmarried woman. most children in the black community are born to female raised and led homes, which leads to the black boys getting neglected and the black women being pushed in the education, literature, college. Because the thing about it is that when you're a black boy growing up in a single parent household, you are doomed. You are doomed. A black girl growing up in a single parent household, you are doomed as well. Because you're just going to grow up and repeat the same cycle. Like, I've seen it. You talk to any single mother, her mom was a single mother. I can guarantee you her mom was a single mother and her grandmom was a single mother. Now she is a single mother and then she has children. Who's going to continue the same cycle? It's a cycle of single motherhood. That's what it is. And these pro-black women are online just talking a bunch of crap. And they go by a few names. Divestors, black women going their own way, divested zealots, plus others. And see, they present themselves as a self-help community, and they recruit women that think like them, that have often experienced real trauma. They don't want a man. They don't need a man in their lives. They only want and need what they can get from a man. Exactly. Effing exactly. That's it. It's 100% transactional. Give me what I want. Give me what I need. Get out of my face. That's how women are today. That's how women are today. They don't care about men. They just want money, assets, a place to live, a wedding experience, children, and a family, but they don't want a man. They want to do everything solo without a man. And they encourage black women, here we go, decenter male attention, prioritize health and self-care, and to broaden one's horizons through international travel and intentionally hypergamous relationships, often leading to the promotion of interracial relationships as a form of hypergamy. But that's where the fascism kicks in. So stats, and see, this is why I wanted to get into the stats. This is going to be the meat of the show. Because what I'm going to present to you, this is knowledge that you can take online, on Instagram, on social media, and present it when these pro-black women come across you and start talking nonsense. But first, stats prove that black women continue to choose the wrong man. Let's talk about accountability. Are y'all ready to talk about accountability? I'm ready. Put a 1 in the chat if you're ready to talk about accountability. Because I came across this guy. The Hamburglar would like to say a few words. And you're going to see what I'm talking about. I actually AI generated this. But the Hamburglar, oh my God, the Hamburglar would like to say a few words. Hey, you're going to see what I'm talking about right now. There's this guy, I don't know if you've heard of him. There's this grits and cheese podcast, something about grits. And it's this guy. And when I looked at him, I was like, yo, is that the Hamburglar from McDonald's? And every few years, a black guy comes around and they pander to black women for butter biscuits, and it never works. It never works. So now this guy's trending and going around on social media. One of his videos I'm going to play is called Intersectionality and Accountability. And black women are going to love it. We already know. Because he's pandering to black women. So he's the Hamburglar. Look, doesn't he look like the Hamburglar? I'm sorry, I'm cracking up. Like he looks exactly like the Hamburglar. Like he's the Hamburglar. I wish I could put two things on the stage at once. But yeah, we're going to look at the Hamburglar, accountability and programming, because he has the nerve to talk about accountability.
You may not harass women. You may know how to take rejection. The majority of men that most women deal with do not.
Yeah.
And you are accountable for that as well. Because I don't got time to figure out which white people are nice, which white people aren't racist, or da-da-da-da-da. I have to go on the actions of the group.
Right.
All right. Let's do it. So if we're going to only go on the actions of the group, let's play that with everybody. Black women included. If we are going to go by the sole actions of the group, what does the actions of the group of women say? There's a statue in New York celebrating obesity, the statue of obesity. You see black women stealing. You see black women fighting. You can turn on baddies right now. You can turn on baddies right now and see a topless woman fighting another woman. Hey, we're going by the group. So, going by that logic, all black women are bad, right? We're just going by the group. We're using his logic. So if we're going to do that with white people, we can also do that with black people. The right man could really break their heart if they could find it. Exactly. And I feel the Hamburglar is going to talk about that too. I'm sorry, y'all. He is 100% the Hamburglar. I don't care. I really wouldn't care if he saw this video. Somebody needs to send it to him. Let's keep going.
The group as a whole and the history of that group as a whole tells me that they are a danger to me and they are not to be trusted.
Right.
All right. Well, let's wait. Let's go with that. You're going to use that for white people. Let's use it for black people too. What have black women shown black men over the course of history from 1956 all the way up to 2025? What have they shown black men? We can't trust them. We can't be with them. We're only good for what we can get. They will choose Section 8 WIC food stamps and government assistance over having a man in the home. They're the leading woman across the board in single motherhood. They're the leading woman across the board in unemployment as of April 2025. So if we're going by what the group presents us, all black women are hypersexual. Exactly. I'm going to put this on the screen. All black women have contempt, disdain, disrespect toward men. All of them. I'm just going by what he's saying. He said, judge the group by the actions of the group over time. So if we're going to do that with whites, we can do that with blacks, Asians, and Latinos. Arabs and Indians really don't mess with black Americans that much. But I'm just going by what he said. Let's continue. Always remember, ladies, what works for you will always work against you.
And if you can understand that as a black man and your stance towards white people, then you should absolutely be able to understand women's stance towards you.
Wrong. And I'm going to tell you why. I'm glad he said that. The reason why black women don't like black men is because I don't want to go too deep because I'm going to do a video about this later on, either this week or next week. This predates America. This hatred that black women have for black men predates America. It goes all the way back to colonial slavery. Don't believe me? Do your research. Pre-colonial slavery. As soon as we came over into America in a boat and the black man was broken down in front of the black woman, that was when the black man became disrespected. Exactly, William. Ours is the only community in the world where the woman is the boss, the matriarchy. And see, this is why I don't understand. Black women complain, oh, we live in a patriarchy. No, we don't. The black community is female run. The black community is run by women. Men do not run the black community. It is female run. 100% female oriented, female run. So you can't complain about misogyny when you're in a female run society. You can't complain about misogyny when you're in a matriarchy. You can only complain about that if you're in a patriarchy where men run the community. In the black community is 100% female run. That's the problem. Because females are not built for leadership. They're built for submission. But due to single motherhood and how black women and black men were treated during slavery, the black woman's mind has been corrupted through white supremacy in slavery and through the Willie Lynch. The Willie Lynch syndrome is the first thing that corrupted black women. I'm gonna see if I can find. I have a book on my shelf. I have a book about the Willie Lynch letter. I think I can find it. There's a book. I think it's called the Willie Lynch letter. I'll have to find it. I'll have to find it later. But there's a book called The Willie Lynch Letter. I have it on my shelf somewhere. Let me see if I can find it. Because the reason why I want to find it is because the Willie Lynch or the Jim Crow era really destroyed black women. That was one of the instrumental things that destroyed black women was Jim Crow and Willie Lynch. And I can't find that, of course, but I'm going to talk about this. This is a book that I've always had on my desk. The Moynihan Report. Let me make myself bigger. This book, The Moynihan Report. If you haven't read this book, you need to go on Amazon right now. It's on Amazon. And it details the planning and research into the black community of the Department of Labor with Daniel P. Moynihan, which is based on his study, The Negro Family, the Case for National Action. This book highlights the instrumental tools that destroyed the black community. And Moynihan, see, the thing about Moynihan is he was a liberal, but he wasn't like a crazy liberal. The Moynihan Report, just in case you're watching the video or you're watching the replay and you missed the live stream, go ahead, go on Amazon right now. They're not sponsoring the video at all. Moynihan Report. Get that book. Because it details a lot of what I'm saying versus what this guy is saying, what the Hamburglar is saying.
It's not a war on you waged by women.
It is. And I'll tell you why. It is. This will explain why. The Moynihan Report. Read it. Because the problem is that people perish due to lack of knowledge. So when you start thinking and talking about the matriarch and the black community and the destruction of civilization, you realize that black people have never really had unity from the very beginning. And even I, studying black history, failed to understand that. Black people never had unity. We were never given a chance to have unity. when we were in slavery and even after, we were constantly put and pitted against each other. So now that we're out of slavery and we've been out of slavery, we're still acting like that. And the Moynihan Report goes into that. So yes, it is black men against black women.
Actually, the war get a little thicker when we start talking about it from the perspective of a woman and the greater society of racism and white supremacy being waged against black people, and then the patriarchal society being waged against women. So they have to deal with two elements. One of those elements we don't have to think about, and honestly, we're perpetuated.
Mm-hmm.
And it's perpetuated against us young to look at women as objects,
Right.
you know, to look at women only through the lens of a sexual desire and not as the human being that they are. And when you understand how to deal with women on a human level, you understand how much women will enrich your life.
Mm. Amen. Amen.
You want to turn it up a notch?
Yeah.
Get you a good woman and get your good black woman in your corner.
Amen.
Hey man, you want to see your life turn up?
Hey.
And see, this is the thing though. It's a privilege, bro. It's a privilege. You know what I'm saying? We often disregard the power of our black women. The spiritual essence that they're gonna bring to things. The knowing, the seeing, you know what I'm saying? Also, too, imagine it. They have to be hyper vigilant because they have to be constantly scanning the room, making sure that they're in a safe situation.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? When we think about these kids who were clearly in Louisiana having the time of their fucking life because they graduated, and we think about white people's reaction to Black Joy.
Oh yeah, that's
it's not about civility. It's not about decorum. They don't like to see us happy.
That's what it is.
Now, how often are women just having a good time, and here come a nigga trying to ruin their fun?
Yeah.
Let's just be honest. You can call it pandering, but if I was up here caping for white women, you wouldn't even mention that word. If I was up here caping for Hispanic women, you wouldn't even call it pandering. Only when we take pride and show love to black women do you call it pandering.
It's still pandering. And I'll tell you why, because this is the reason why. Because you can't use white supremacy and then say, okay, black women having fun and a Negro comes up and ruin, yes, agreed with what he's saying. Well, my thing is this, you have to understand why he's saying that, because he's pandering to black women. So only black women are going to, modern black women don't like to see anybody happy. That is true. Modern black women and modern women in general don't like to see anyone happy. Agree with what he's saying. Here's the thing. Here's the thing. In the beginning of the video, I'm going to replay the beginning of the video because some people may have just joined and they might have caught the tail end of the video. So let's go back and we're going to play the beginning of the video.
You may not harass women. You may know how to take rejection. The majority of men that most women deal with do not.
Yeah.
And you are accountable for that as well.
How are you accountable for bad people? How? How are you as a man that is a good man, never done anything bad with women, never done anything bad? How are you accountable for what bad people do? You're not. Let's continue.
Because I don't got time to figure out which white people are nice, which white people aren't racist, or da-da-da-da-da. I have to go on the actions of the group.
Right.
The group.
Go on the actions of the group. I want you to remember that. Going with that, we're not going to focus on individuals. We're going to focus on the actions of the group.
Group as a whole and the history of that group as a whole tells me that they are a danger to me and they are not to be trusted.
Right.
Let's look. Going back, we're only going by the group, based on the history of the group, based on what the group has done over a period of time. I'm going to make a judgment about everybody in that group off of the history of the group.
And if you can understand that as a black man and your stance towards white people, then you should absolutely be able to understand women's stance towards you.
See, and that's the issue, because you cannot do that. That is inconceivable. Women judge every single man by the group. That's the problem. You judge every man, every single person by what the group does. Everyone is held accountable, except for modern black women. You can ask any black woman today, no matter what she is doing, it's not wrong. Exactly. I was on Twitter today before I went live talking to a woman about who destroyed the black family. The first thing she said was the black man destroyed the family. How can the black man destroy something when it takes two to destroy it? Black women also destroyed the community. But whenever we talk about women, they always say, what about the man? They always say that. And that's my biggest issue with women in general. Why can't you sit in your own boat and take accountability for the actions that you did? Why? And I have yet to get an answer to that. I've been doing YouTube for 2+ years. I have over 400 videos, and not one woman has given me an answer. Why is it that when a man tells you about yourself, you want to point fingers back at him? Why? When I receive that answer, I will invite that person onto my podcast and we will go live together. Whoever can answer that question, by all means, I'm going to ask it again. Why is it that when black men tell black men, hold black women accountable, they're not feminine, gentle, they're hostile, vulgar, and bitter? Yet a lot of them are. A lot of them are. What question? Okay, I'm going to ask the question again. When we talk about black relationships, black people, black family, black anything, and we talk about the role that women chose to do, and women destroyed the community too. When we talk about women, why is it that they always say, well, what about the men? We already know what the men do because we've talked about it throughout history. Men can't lead. Men can't do this, that, and the other. And the problem is that whenever we talk to women and say, okay, we understand men, what about what you did? What about what you contributed? They always say, what about the man? That is a stereotype that is displayed on the black women. A lot of black women are not bitter, not vulgar, not loud, none of that. It's just that the loudest ones are the ones that hold the character. And that's the problem. If the loudest ones hold the character, where's the accountability to deal with them woman to woman? Deal with them woman to woman. You should be woman enough to take your sister to the side and say, we're not going to do that. This is not. Because people don't know how to think with logic, and that goes for men and women. And yes, both sides do not like accountability. Contrary to what you just said, black men take all the accountability, to be honest. If you read this book, The Moynihan Report, this is a 1960 study on the black family. They have YouTube videos about it. They've done a whole study on the black family. And what black men are saying now is what black men were saying then. If you want us to be leaders, get on our program. Y'all don't want to do it. The good black women are either already married or they're already married, or they're somewhere else. They're jealous of the men. They're not only jealous of the men, they want to be men, and they are hyper masculine. Well, I'm going to get into the statistical data because that's what's going to prove the side that I'm trying to get black women to understand. Because you can say, I'm a single mom, but you have to understand your part in becoming a single mom. You have to understand your part in becoming you have to understand your role in the situation. We're not absolving the man. We're saying, okay, instead of you talking about men all day and throwing us under the bus, black women are not jealous of men. The issue is exactly what Malcolm X said. Remember what he said about black women. Imagine having to fight so hard day in and day out for basic respect. I'm gonna address that. Malcolm X did say that the most disrespected woman was a black woman. However, you also have to look at it from both sides. You can't get respect as a woman twerking on national TV. You can't get respect as a woman when you're topless fighting on national TV with another woman. When you don't control your image. There is a statue of an obese black woman right now in Times Square because that's how black women are viewed. No other race of women have to go through that. They actually do. And I'm glad you brought that up. White women had to deal with white men, treating them like crap. That's the whole reason why the feminist movement even started, because white women were being treated like crap by white women, by white men. Well, the thing is that you are told that you are enough. Society has made black women believe that they have to be these the black women have been told multiple times that they have to be back with their men, and instead of being with their men, they fight against them. My white coworkers aren't the one bashing me on social media, calling the cops on me every other day, and trying to sue me for half of my stuff my ex-wife was. My point exactly. See, both sides are valid. The reason why so many women get upset when we talk about things like that is they try to invalidate the other side. They try to invalidate the other person's feelings. You know that I do look at it from both ends. We are already judged hard enough. So I guess the logic is damned if we do, damned if we don't. So I guess they choose to have fun. But have they been treated like crap for 400 years, though? They haven't, but we were in slavery for 400 years. And when you study Black history, you understand that when you deal with slavery, both sides were being treated like crap. So when the emancipation happened and slavery ended, we were still, the black man, the black woman didn't respect the black man because the white man broke him down during slavery. So black women came out of slavery not respecting black men from the very jump of the situation. Well, that was your ex-wife. There's so many women that are black on Twitter that will call out blacks women's foolishness. He sounds hurt. No shame. Well, he doesn't sound hurt. It's that everybody has their own experience. And what we have to stop doing as a community is invalidating each other's experiences. It's just like if I said that gamers and nerds didn't get women in high school, a bunch of people would come in the comment section and invalidate that experience. But black women don't get behind their men anymore. They get behind each other. That's our point. You have to, you also have to consider what black men go through and the psychological warfare that's been done to black women from the beginning. But they do, though. Y'all are on the wrong side of social media. I mean, at the same time, no, they do and they don't. You have to leave room for them for two people can be right at the same time. Yeah, they do, but they also don't. The majority doesn't outweigh the minority. So if I have 100 people that hate black people and 20 of them love them, that 20 doesn't outweigh the 80 that don't like them. That's all we're saying. Here we go. Let me put the Hamburglar back up. the Hamburglar. But here we go. Here's the stats. We're going to talk about accountability. Black men and women's fertility. And this is under age 50. Black men and women fertility. This is looked up. I'm going to show you. This is from the CDC from 2015 to 2019. Now, the reason why I brought this up is to prove women don't choose the right partners. Because none of these stats, CDC, Pew Research, National Institute of Health, and Bowling Green Bowling Green University. It goes back to the loudest assembly, not true. Black women marry black men so much. We love black men, but it's getting overshadowed with some boneheads that with daddy issues. It is, but that's where women come in. If you, this is what black men are saying. The bad people in the room make the most noise. So if the bad people in the room are making the most noise, the good people need to shut the bad people down. They need to overpower the baddies in the room. You have to also understand that a lot of black women use social media. A lot of black people live on social media. And a lot of black people live through social media, rap, hip hop, and music and media. So when we try, we get called pygmies and whatnot. And I was just talking about that. You want to find a good woman, she is a pygmy. I know pygmies. I interact with pygmies. I love pygmies. Those are the black women that will call out black women and take accountability. I love pygmies. Just like the dude that you showed, he's not a pander and he spoke facts. I mean, he's still panders though. Because I'm only simping for pygmy. What's up, cartoons that made us? What is up? Congratulations on. I want to shout out all the black men, just in case you just joined. Shout out to all black men. Our unemployment rate has dramatically decreased. Because the black women that hate black men love to throw it in our face that we're the most unemployed man. But now we are not the most unemployed, and it's now women. So pat on the back for that. Now the pro-black women can stop bothering us about our unemployment rates. But because he's standing up for black women, that he's a pander, so I guess that when a man is a pander, he's a good man. But see, here's the thing. He's pandering to women for the benefit of white people and women. Because every few years, a black person comes around and starts to pander to women for white people. So we're going to get into these stats. Black men and women ages 15 to 49 had a biological child, 46% men, 61% women. Black men and women ages 40 to 49 who had a biological child in their lifetime. 81% men, 87% women. Black fathers and mothers. 66% men, 41% women, black fathers and mothers who lived with their partners at their first child's birth. So if that logic goes, wouldn't a pygmy be doing the same thing? A black woman speaking up for black men so that she can be chosen. See, and that's where the pygmy thing is. It gets murky. Because a lot of women that get called pygmies are not pygmies. They're really not pygmies. The difference is that the pygmy, right, Right, there you go. The difference is the pick-me isn't disingenuous. Like the panderer guy, he's not being real. He's only saying that to get black women's approval so he can get a lot of attention and get a lot of clicks and views, because everybody knows that if you appeal to black women, you go viral. If you're not appealing to go to black women or black people, you're not going to go anywhere. So what that black guy's doing is he's being disingenuous. A pick-me, like I interact with pick-me's all the time, and they will call out a woman as quick as they will call out a man. But see, when they call out a man, they do it in love, not as a disrespect thing. When we call out women, we do it in love, not as a disrespect thing. But it's the same thing. The painter isn't disingenuous either. Some of them are not going to lie, but some of them are not going to lie, but some men truly feel this way about black women, but they're panderers. I have examples of this, but y'all will call them panderers. Maybe we'll do a live stream together. Shogun. We can do that as my next live stream. Pandering or pandering or pros something. We'll do a live stream about that. Shogun, I'll invite you on to my, I will not show my face so they can roast me. The men on my channel are very respectful to people. I've had a guest on my show already, and nobody left a hate comment on her and I's video. So if I have you on the show, my people are not going to roast you at all. And see, black men, going back to the statistics, black men are more likely to have no kids. Black women are more likely to have 2 or more. We'll roast you respectfully. Yeah, no. That's funny. And see, this is what the pro-black women say. They always want to say black men are deadbeats, black men aren't in the house, black men are deserting the family. That's what the pro-black women always say. And they're always wrong. Because how can you desert your family as a man when 66% of us are still in the home, when 54% of black men don't even have kids, and only 10% of black men have 2 or more children. So we're not abandoning our families. We're in the home taking care of business. So the next lie we're going to debunk that pro-black women talk about, and I love the statistics because black women, they love to say, I'm not going 50-50. I'm not going, but here's the data. When you deal with marriage, when a black man gets married, 40% of black men get married and they're the primary or sole breadwinner. But when a black woman gets married, 26%, and she's more likely than other wives to be in an egalitarian and breadwinner wife marriage. So out of all the wives When black women get married, they end up as the primary breadwinner. Or they do 50-50. But when a black man gets married, he's the sole provider or primary breadwinner. Now, let's define sole and primary. A sole provider is the woman doesn't work at all and the man makes the income. Or if he's the primary breadwinner, the woman works if she wants to, but she doesn't have to. In an egalitarian marriage, both people work. And when the wife is the primary or sole breadwinner, she is the only one that's working. But now, let's look at, I'm going to decrease this because it's too big. Here we go. In egalitarian marriages, wives and husbands tend to earn about $60,000 apiece. So all of this BS about, black men are deadbeats, black men can't take care of the house, black men are broke. If we're so broke, look at this. When the wife is the sole provider, she only makes $45,000 a year, but yet black men are broke. Pro-black women, if you're watching, because I know you are, you're just not saying anything. Come to the front of the class. Pro-black women, feminist, femcells, rad femmes. Is this graph specific toward black people? It's specific toward people that are in these specific marriages. It's specific toward people that are in these types of marriages. But when the husband is the sole provider, he makes roughly about $70,000 a year. But in the egalitarian marriage, 50-50, the husband still makes more than the wife does. So even if pro-black women, divestors, femcells, feminists, misandrists, women that hate black men, the only marriage that you don't benefit in is when you're the sole provider. So I see what I can still poke holes in this. I mean, even so, I'm going to get to more in-depth stuff in the next slide. Because when you break down income by gender and race, black men still out-earn black women, even with degrees. So even when you take black people and separate us, we still earn more than women. So that throws out the whole black men need to build, we're broke, the pro-black women love this. Why do you think that is? Why do I think that is? Number one, it's because of a gender pay gap that affects everybody, not just black people. But also you have to understand that women get paid less than men regardless of race. Women get paid less than men regardless of race. However, when we deal with the black community specifically, we are still very low on the totem pole, but at the same time, we're like breaking, like we can do better, but we're not doing as bad as the pro-black women act like we are. Facts. Exactly. Facts. Because on the next slide, the Moynihan report, see, this is the reason why Right. They do less important jobs. Think of it like this, and I've done the research. If you look at a woman and what she goes to school for, economics, social work, teacher, nurse, RN, travel nurse. Now, I will give it to women. Travel nurses make a lot of money. Shout out to all the travel nurses. Y'all make bank. I can't argue with that. But when you deal with the specific career field that women go into, they're always teacher, social worker, licensed social worker, therapist, low earning income fields. That's the reason why women have higher. That's the reason why women have higher debt. They have higher student loan debt than all other women. As a woman in the tech space, we are treated like we are less than. There are microaggressions and Lord have mercy if the woman is pretty. Men try to usurp her because they got to flex the man wing. Actually, women do that as well. It's not just men. Like I remember I had a friend of mine that dealt with that herself. She was getting it from the women more than the men. Like, it really all depends on, a man doesn't need college to get a high-paying infrastructure job. We don't, especially in tech. You can get in tech, make $70,000 a year, no problem. All you need is certifications. Or if you want to be a software engineer, just do a boot camp for a year and then you can get a job. Trade school, exactly. You can do a trade school, you can do whatever, you can do like certifications, be a trucking, get your CDL, drive. My little brother was a trucker. He made good money as a trucker. No education, no degree, got a CDL, made good money trucking. Transportation, forklifting, power grids. But I do agree with that instance. They do go to school for dumb stuff. The ship is way sailed in the tech space. A bachelor's degree is the new high school diploma. That is true. A lot of people in tech don't have a degree. A lot of people in tech just have certifications and that's it. They don't have a degree. And that's the reason why pro-black women, where y'all at, come to the front of the class. I'm going to make myself bigger. A lot of pro-black women say black men are the least educated man. Guess what? We're the least educated man because we're men across the board are less educated. Whether you're white, Latino, Asian, or black. Women across the board are more educated than men. But when you talk about the educated demographic, what these pro-black women accounts that hate black men, they love to say is that black men are the least educated man, and we are not. We are more educated than Latino men. More educated than Latino men. We rank third in education. Black women rank fourth in education. Asian women rank number one in educational attainment. And this is coming from the Post-Secondary Institute of Education 2024. You can look that up. I'm going to post the links to all of these stats in the video description after the live is over. Going back to the stats. And see, this is why Black men stress that single motherhood is nothing to play around with. And this comes from my favorite, Bowling Green State University, the economic status of single mothers. We don't need college to be educated. It's just indoctrination in the feminist theory. We all know how to research what we want to know. Right. We have the internet at our fingertips, and even colleges, they have online classes for free now. You can go to Yale or Spelman or an Ivy League school and take classes for free online. And see, this is what we're saying. The economic status of single mothers. Black women have made major gains in higher education, but Black single mothers still struggle to attain degrees. And this is why we say, watch who you have a child with. We don't say this in shame. What we're saying is, okay, don't be a single mom because this is what happens. 2/3, 65.7%. Let me make this bigger so y'all can see it. That's too big. But 2/3, 65.7% of Black women in higher education attended a community college. About 3/4, 73.8% of Black mothers who attended a community college are single mothers. 2/3 of Black single mothers, 66.3% who attended a community college are first generation students. Over 2/3, 69.4% of Black single mother students did not earn a certificate or degree within 6 years of enrollment. 3/4, and this is the numbers. 3/4, 74.7% of Black single mother students say that they could not come up with $2,000 within the next month. This alone shows how important it is for women to choose the right partner to avoid single motherhood and to get married first before having children. Right. Got all those degrees to do nails, sell bundles, and do Uber. And see, that's the issue. Is you're going to school for BS. Ladies, if you're going to go to school, at least make your education worthwhile. Y'all don't need to go to school for hair and cosmetology and nails and feed and a nail salon and weave and bundle and social work. Go to school. Ladies, I'm going to say this. In love, if you're going to go to school for something that will pay your student loans off, and go to school for something that's going to increase your income every year. Don't go to school for something that is completely BS and that you're going to regret later. go to school for something that is not only going to pay your student loans, but set yourself up to progress in life. That's the problem. You go to school for BS, you have the most student loan debt, and then you end up with a degree that you're not even using. Then you go back to school to avoid paying for student loan debt. Then you get another degree. Then you still don't know. It's just a big mess. And a lot of that is not choosing the right partner. Because if you deal with someone who's educated, they're going to want you to be educated in something that you can actually use that will actually parlay into something better. And when we go into the graph, Black or African American student mother is at 72.4%. Black or African American single mother students are at 74.7%. Single parents are more likely than married parents to be Black or Hispanic. This is why pro-Black women, instead of talking crap about Black men all day on social media, you need to figure out where you're going wrong at, because if you look at the graph between women and men, look at the graph between Black men and Black women. I'm going to see if I can get this to where it's still, here we go. Black, 29.4% Black single mothers, 7.9% Black married mothers. So this is what I'm saying. You can't say that marriage isn't working. A lot of women, a lot of pro-Black women, a lot of feminists, a lot of femcel, a lot of rad fem, they get on social media and then they say, oh, marriage doesn't secure anything. I know it doesn't, because 29.4% of y'all are single mothers. So y'all aren't getting married. The numbers need to be swapped. It needs to be 7.9% single mothers and 29.4% married mothers. Y'all aren't getting married. So you can't sit up here and say, oh, Black marriage doesn't work. It doesn't change anything. That's the number one trope that a lot of these women would use. They're like, oh, marriage doesn't solve anything. You're not getting married for it to matter. There's more single mother. We are getting married. You are getting married, but at 7.9%. The point I'm making is that there's more single mothers than more married women. You're not getting married at a high enough rate. And then when we look at Black men, there is only 19.1 single fathers, but 8.5 Black married fathers. So there's less single fathers than single mothers, and there's more married fathers than married mothers. So this is what we're saying. Yes, you're getting married, but you're not getting married at a high enough amount. And yes, Black men are single fathers, but they're less single fathers than single mothers, but there's more married fathers than married mothers. So again, this is all we're saying. You need to choose. Men falsely reporting that they don't have And see, the data, see, this is coming from multiple sources. And I'm going to post the links to those multiple sources because even if you look at Bowling Green State University and the CDC, there's more men without children than women with children. I mean, there's more men that don't have children than women that do. And there's more married men than there are men. Also, men that are incarcerated may not know they have kids. Some women are conniving. I mean, be that as it may, the man is in jail. So what can he do for the woman, and what can he do for a woman in jail? Like, I get what you're saying. A man could have died. Right. Men could have died, but the thing is, you're not a single mother when you're a widow. The data points aren't accurate. You have to understand that there's more than one data source saying the same thing. Even though the numbers may be a little bit different, they're still painting the same picture. That's the point. There's more married fathers than mothers, and there's more single mothers than fathers. Because even the CDC says the same thing. You can't be implying that women lie less about children that women lie less about children than men. Right, I meant to say men. I mean, they are accurate in the sense that the way they are reported is accurate. It can only be as accurate as what is reported is what I'm saying. My thing is this, is that the point that men are saying, this is the point that men are saying. There's more married men than married women, and there's more single mothers than single fathers. And there's more fathers that are in the home than those who are not in the home. Some men really don't want to be a dad, and when women step up and do what they gotta do, it's like, okay, B word, here's the cookie. But see, there's a book that I'm gonna bring up because you lead me into another quick thing. It's like women will say, and a lot of these pro-black women will say, oh, I didn't know, I didn't understand, I didn't get it, I didn't see the signs, I didn't see the red flags. This book was recommended to me by a black woman. A black woman represented this book to me. It's called The Gift of Fear. It's called The Gift of Fear. And what this book talks about is survival signals that protect us from violence. So in this book, it talks about, again, this is the title, Gift of Fear. You can order it on Amazon. And this book talks about, right, and if they both lie at an even amount, then it negates each other. But see, you also have to understand, though, and I still find it hard to believe because some people don't even report information. Working intent, a computer cannot output information that isn't given. But, okay, let's go with that. So even if information isn't being reported, the information that is being reported still paints the same picture. That's the point. So even though, like, let's say you have 1,000 men and 1,000 women, and only 900 men and 900 women report, you're short 100 people, but the data still comes up the same from multiple different sources. That's what we're saying. But see, the thing is, women aren't the only ones taking care of the kids. Black men are in the home taking care of the kids just as much as the black woman is. It's not just the woman's job, and it's never just been the woman's job to take care of the kids. That's what white people, what the data comes up the same again because women are more honest in reporting. Also, some men don't even know they have kids. No, men know they have kids. A man not knowing that, like if a woman is pregnant, and you've seen it, Shogo, how many times have people watched those court paternity shows? Most of the time, it's the woman that doesn't know who the father is, but the father is the one that's trying to say, this is my daughter, this is my son, this is my child. I raised her. I took care of her. I remember I was watching one of them, and the father was in the child's life from, and a man doesn't, and if a man doesn't know, it's because the woman hadn't told him. Paternity court is a very good example. Multiple episodes of paternity court. There is a man cannot report what he doesn't know. But that's true. But the man isn't going to know. Like, let's say the man doesn't know. Yeah, because she's being a skank. That's the whole point. Men, when a man has a child, and I've seen this in real life, my own self, when a man has a child, if he doesn't know he has a child, 90% of the time, it's because nobody told him he had a child, because the woman knew she had a child but didn't know who the father was. So that's why he didn't know. And if you go back and you watch Ricky Lake, Montel Jordan, Montel Williams, and all the talk shows from the 80s and 90s, all the way up until today, they all say the same thing. So, about half, so that's all I'm saying. The number is uneven. If a woman is a single mother, there's an equal balance. There's an equal balance of men who could be a single father. Either way, he doesn't know that he is a father. She put on the gun. Who's going to be responsible? Right. So he may have remarried, or he could have been incarcerated or died. But that's my point, is even though the data is still going to be the same, because there's also still more women than men. So the data is still going to reflect even when we encounter those same things. Because almost half of black mothers are single mothers. Over half. Right. That's what we're saying. What we're saying is that data comes from multiple different sources. So when you look at data, we ain't make the baby alone. But again, black fathers are in the home. We're not saying that you made the baby alone. What we're saying is that you gotta be careful who you make a baby with. And it would benefit you as the woman. It would benefit you as the woman to marry before you carry. That's all we're saying. So here we go. Unemployment. Black men, stand up. Stand up. Black men. We're because we're tired of these pro-black women talking about how black men are unemployed. I wish my soundboard would work. I don't know if y'all heard that or not, but I'm going to get my soundboard to work. But pro-black women, shout out to y'all in the chat that may not be talking, the pro-black women, they will use this argument that black men are unemployed to talk about why there are no good men in the dating pool. However, black men's employment has changed over the years, but pro-black women only focus on stats from 2000 to 2002. And we're going to go into an actual interaction that I had with a pro-black woman. So this is what they post. If you've ever been on social media and you have interacted with any pro-black woman from the pro-black woman space, this is the statistic that they use. They use this statistic that only covers from 2000 to 2002, and it's the average number of men working for every 100 women working by race. So when you look at the statistic, they always say that there's 87 out of 100 black men working versus 143 out of 100 Latino men working. So they use this as a shaming tactic against black men to say, oh, well, you're unemployed. You're unemployed. They always use that tactic. They use that stat that black men are unemployed as a scapegoat. Not all black men are unemployed. But if you look at it, Latino men out-employ white American, Indian, and Asian men, but you don't see pro-black women shaming white, Latino, or Asian. I mean, you don't see pro-black women shaming white, American, Indian, or Asian women. I mean, men, do you? No. But here's the caveat, because every dog has its day. Everyone has, and this is the BLM's 2022 annual averages. They typically quote this stat alone to prove that black men are unemployed. However, they forget that black people have employment issues, and it's not limited to black men. What about black women? You never hear those pro-black women divester accounts, femcells, feminists, misandrists, black women only accounts on Twitter talk about black women's unemployment. Black men, stand up. Stand up. I wish I could, wait, I don't know. I don't know. And see, here's the thing. In April, April of this year. It's a logical fallacy. Right. Because the thing is that April jobs report, this is 2025. 2025. Pro-black women. This stat alone is from 2025. You cannot refute this. This is the most up-to-date statistic that actually dropped April of 2025. Last month. As of last month, women are the most unemployed, not black men. You don't believe me? Pro-black women, misandrous, black women only accounts on Twitter. You don't believe me? Let's look at the data. Let's look at the data. The need to be right is strong within you. Well, I mean, that's the sign technique. Need to be right. So, if we look at unemployment for women, which the pro-black women accounts never do, look at the unemployment for black women before you even drop a link to talk crap about black men. You need to look at your 6.1% unemployment rate that is for 2025, which is higher than the average, which is higher than the average unemployment for women, which sits at 4.0% for women and 3.6% for men. So how are you going to talk when your unemployment rate is at 6.1%, pro-black woman only, that hates black men, that loves to call us nakers and bullet bags and target practice for police? Shut up. Like, your unemployment rate is at 6.1%. You need to handle that before you even talk to black men. Handle your own employment rate, your single motherhood rate, your college education rate. Like, deal with that. 6.1 out of 100. No, it's not 6.1 out of 100. Because this is the BLS. A closer look at women's unemployment. See, this is from the BLS. This can be out again. I'll post the links after the show is over. The Bureau of Labor Statistics reports that in April 2025, the unemployment rate for black women was at 6.1%. This rate is higher than the overall unemployment rate for women, which is at 4.0%, and also higher than the employment rates for women, for white women and Asian women. A more detailed breakdown is overall unemployment rate, 4.0 for women, 3.6 for men. Black women, 6.1. White women, 5.2. Asian women, 3.8. Here it is from the BLS itself. Chart 4. Unemployment rates by race and Hispanic or Latino ethnicity, 2002 annual averages. Black or African American, 6.1%. Asian 2.8, white 3.2, American Indian 6.2. So American Indian is only 1 point higher than black or African American. 2 or more races 5.5, or Hispanic or Latino 4.3. So when you look at the unemployment rate, please stop trying to say that black men lead in unemployment, because that lie isn't gonna fly. That lie isn't gonna fly anymore. You have officially been debunked. I showed you the stats. You can go argue with the BLS and argue with the Department of Labor, but you cannot shame black men for being the most unemployed male demographic anymore. That is the victory for black men, because we're tired of being shamed for our alleged unemployment rates, which are from 2000 to 2022, and it's 2005 now. Stop it. Get some help. You shouldn't throw stones and live in a glass house. You shouldn't throw stones and live in a glass house. Pro-black women, misandry, misandrower. Stop throwing stones when you live in a glass house. So now we're going to look at, I'm going to skip. Now here's the black women are low earners. This is, you're not going to attack man being confrontational. Right, you're not going to, and see, that's the thing, is that when people bring up stuff, I hate spell check too. I hate it too, because I be messing up all the time on my spell check. But let's check the stats again with the income. The U.S. Bureau of Labor Statistics, June 2020, the data on average weekly and annual salaries broken out by race or gender. White men make $5,800 annually and $1,115 weekly. Black men, $828 weekly, $43,000 annually. White women, $929 weekly, $48,300 annually. Black women are at $779 weekly, $40,500 annually. Or autocorrect. I hate it too. But see, this is what we're saying. You can't throw stones when you live in a glass house. You want to say black men are broke, but look at your income. Stop pocket watching black men and worry about pro-black women and building. You can't throw stones in a glass house. Let's look at the Bureau of Labor Statistics. This is from the BLS. The up-to-date income 2025 wages, not seasonally adjusted. Total white, 1,219, 1,342 men, 1,103 women. Black or African American, 1,107 a week men, 984 women. So you're saying that men are broke, men can't provide, men can't do anything, but you're sitting at $984 as a pro-black woman, and men are out earning you. So when you interact with these accounts on social media, they will often flee when you present them with facts, data, and statistics. We're nearing the finish line. They will typically only post links to stats that are outdated and disproven, but also never post the full articles of their claims. A tactic that these women use is posting stats without the full context. Let's see this in action. Now, this is a recent interaction that I had with a pro-black woman on Twitter. So I said, you can be a present father and not live with the woman. Just because you are not together doesn't mean absent father, because you know how women like to say, you aren't living in the house, you're not an active father. That's a lie. That's been debunked multiple times. She says, no, you can't be. Another person says, how you know? Are you a mom? She says, it's common sense. He says, you ain't answered a question. Now, here I go. Here comes the heat. Here comes the heat. You asked how I know that it's common sense. Y'all are never disproving the literacy statistics. There goes the shame. This is how the pro-black women talk to black men on social media. So if you've been a member of my channel for any amount of time, you already know that I'm bringing the heat. So I said, LOL, I always prove you wrong with stats, and here I will prove you wrong again. And I posted a link and the statistic. What does the graph say? Only non-co-residential, which means they are in their child's life, but not living with the child's mom. And if you look at this, black men, 26% non-co-residential, 18% both. Out of Hispanic, white, and other multi-raced men, black men are the most non-residential father. Even though they don't live with the mom, they're still in their child's life. So you can be in your child's life and not be with the mom. We're at 28%. And both. So whether or not it's residential or co-residential, we're still beating all men. White people, 8% and 7%. Hispanic, 15 and 12. We are 26% and 18%. So we're in the house and we're taking care of our responsibilities as men. The pro-black woman doesn't believe that. So here's where she did a bait and switch, posting her stats that only benefit her side and then leaving the conversation. So she says, find a study that says non-co-residential fathers are as active as co-residential. Number one, that wasn't even the discussion. The discussion was fathers can live in the home or not and still be with their children or child. You don't live in the same house as them. It's common sense that you will spend less time with the children if you don't live in the same home as them. That's a lie. Here you go. Non-residential fathers' involvement increased by a greater extent than that of partnered fathers at a higher educational level, although the difference in father involvement between partnered and non-resident fathers remained drastically. She said, notice how she only posted what benefited her side, never the full story. She said non-resident fathers are less involved, and then she pieced out. She was like, deuces, I'm out. I said, you didn't post the whole thing, only what supported your argument. Finish the paragraph, which is included below. And I'm going to read what the bottom of this says. The findings suggest that including resident and shared residence fathers in the picture offers a more optimistic view of fathers' post-separation parenting role because these separated fathers are actually more actively involved in child rearing than partnered fathers. So there you have it. And see, I'm gonna end with this. I'm gonna land the plane. When you deal with a lot of these pro-black women accounts, a lot of them just hate black men. They hate black people. A lot of them hate being black themselves. But when you fight the war against misinformation, these statistics will help you in waging war against the negative stereotypes that pro-black women and black women that hate black men say about black men. So when you're dealing with these accounts, you will know what it is that you have to do. Always remember that as a black man, you are loved, you are cared for, and you are thought about. All of the good black women in the house, shout out to you. And I'm going to get ready to get out of here. Thank you all for watching, all of you for commenting. I'm going to edit this video out and put it out next week. And I will see you in the next video. Shout out. Good night, cartoons that made us. Also, yeah, good night, cartoons that made us. To Shogo Makishima. To, who was the, where's Will? Shout out to you, William Partridge. You're a long-term subscriber, just like everybody else. And shout out to the new people if you're watching the replay or if you're watching right now. Shout out to you. Subscribe to the channel because it'll only get better. My goal is to go viral this year. Hopefully it'll happen, but you can do your part. It only costs $0.00 to share a video, like a video, repost, retweet. I greatly appreciate all my subscribers, all the new ones, all the OGs that have been with me from the very beginning, and I will see you in the next one.
Keep it real, stay strong, rise above the hype. Yeah, yeah. Life's got layers, not just what's in sight. Yeah. Brothers, stand tall, let's rewrite the code. Truth in your headphones, ready to unload. Truth in your headphones, ready to unload. Truth in your headphones, ready to unload. Fades with a confident cadence, supported by laid-back beats and a smooth bass line. The vibe is gritty, yet motivating. Yeah. Yeah. Yo. Keep it real, stay strong, rise above the hype.